the last time we talked, you're a father now,
Yes, sir.
father of five.
Father of five.
Talk a little bit about that and how like being a new father, like how's that changed your life? Like how's that affected training? We don't even have to talk about training, just how are you doing as a father? How
Oh,
like,
yeah,
what are
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah, for
experiences with
sure.
that?
So being a father has definitely changed my point of view on a lot of things. And I definitely think that because I've learned a lot of things from being a father, it represents in my strength. So if you think that the kids and the things like will slow you down in any part of your walk of life, I definitely think that that's wrong. Don't use your kids as an excuse for why you can't do the things that you want.
Yeah.
And I hope to represent that idea because people always give an excuse for why they can't do something. But okay, I work 3 jobs. You have 1 job.
Yeah.
You got 2, 3 kids. You're using that as an excuse for why you can't do something. All right, well, now I have 5, right? They're like, oh, but I'm too busy. And then you start digging into the schedule and all this stuff. And I'm like,
You're
compared
not.
to
Yeah.
me, that's nothing. And
Yes.
yet I'm still able to do it. So, in another way, I'm trying to set an example for everybody that watches me that the end is not because you have kids. Don't let that be an excuse. Another thing too is like prioritizing like my life. Now, when people call me to go out and hang out, I have to really think when I take this action, how does that affect my kids? How do they view me? Should I be spending that time more with my wife and my kids instead of going out drinking and doing all these things? So I definitely think it's made me grow in different ways, and it's definitely made me appreciate my parents a lot more. I
Oh
think
yeah.
when I was growing up, I used to be like really angry about some of the decisions that they made, but I'm 31 and my wife, when I married her, she already had 4 boys. So I practically just accepted that role because I love who my wife is.
Yeah.
And she would not be the woman that I love if she did not have those 4 boys.
Right.
So those 4 boys are actually really important for me as well because they made me fall in love with their mom. So I always also think back to all of that stuff and how it relates to my life and my priorities and what my parents did. And can you imagine? I'm 31 and boom, I have 5 kids.
Yeah.
My mom and dad had 5 kids when they were 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking when I was 20 years old,
Yeah.
imagine being in this situation right
Yeah.
now. And I just think like, dang, my parents are way stronger than I
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
think,
Yeah.
because again, we're so small, we're so young, and we're so like egotistic and we think about our lives only until you become
Till
that
you get a
person
taste of
yourself.
it. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And I honestly think that's like the most important aspect of my life right now. Having to accept that being strong is not just about lifting heavy. Because before I got married and before I became a father, that was like literally my identity.
Your identity, yeah.
Yeah.
And having, over the last year of like raising my kids and being there with them, like I had to accept that, you know what? Maybe being strong has a different meaning for me now.
Yeah.
What if I could help you get strong and not even lift a weight at all? Then now you become truly strong because now it's not just about you lifting weights, it's who you are as a person, what you say, what you do, a man of your word. You don't lie, you don't cheat, you don't steal, you take like the really, really hard path versus everybody else, and you never give yourself an excuse. And if something doesn't succeed in your life, you always put it back on yourself, and it's never someone else's reason for why you don't get where you get.
Right.
And all of that stuff just came with being a father, So
Yeah. Like I definitely